so looking at some racing on a Monday.
Then follows Maxell,
for a National Hunt flat race. The liquidity isn't too bad actually, for a Monday as well at Worcester.
Continues to bring up the rear.
It might be because a lot of people fancy this favourite. We're just going to see if we can pull a few ticks off somewhere else at the right place. As always, I'm using the race time to guide me. I'm getting my bets at the right and safe times in the market, so I don't blame my bank.
On the inside of In Memory of Millie.
So, just a waiting game right now.
Maxell, to believe, remains the back marker.
It could be interesting going here, but it's not looking right just yet. It's a bit too
Orchid continues to dictate terms.
As in the, there's no gaps in the market. There's a few gaps there, but
second and third.
they're not lasting very long, if that makes sense.
Maxell, fourth and fifth, and Tampico Rocco in company with Twiggy's Pride, and Time to Believe remains last.
So yeah, still just waiting.
Swing left-handed to race into the northern bend. Tiger Orchid
I could put someone down here at
just over a length in front.
It's a value.
I'm out of here, man.
On the inside
of that much money to get out against. I mean, if I lose 10 ticks, I lose 10 ticks. It's not a big deal because I make that back in the next couple of races if it was to go wrong. There's 85 quid there, so
all his rivals to win from there.
Both sides,
and they're approaching the final half mile.
And so if we don't, because that money's disappearing below, I'm not messing around. I'm lowering my price.
Third at the top of the home straight. In Memory of Millie
is wise thing to do.
And losing ground.
I'm out of here, man.
Shorter race over at Nottingham. 1 mile 6 furlong handicap means I've got to get out quite early because we don't want to get caught up in the business end of the race.
Market in play.
I'm not really sure how this is going to pan out, to be honest with you, so I'm just going to hang on a second and see what happens. Liquidity is what you expect on a Monday.
Ogly doggly.
So I'm not in any rush to get in. I don't want to get caught. There's a nice big cushion there, sitting there just above 4s. I wouldn't mind going at 4. Someone's beating to it, but I wouldn't mind going in there if I'd been quicker. Just behind them, the grey pushover. Probably bounce back in. This earlier on the market's tend to be buttered up anyway. It's just, you want to wait a little bit longer. Now there's more money coming on the backside. On the inside is St. Paul Wizard in the green and maroon. What you want to see is, in an ideal situation, you want to see thousands of pounds sitting here, and you want to see nothing on the, well, just a quid or so every here and there, and then a load of empty spaces like that, and then when it's jumping up and down like that, that's when you can just smash money through. The course, they're inside the last 10 furlongs, leads by a couple of lengths from Ocean Rich, who disputes second place with Samina. The next pair is Scorched Earth. I might just come off this Scorched Earth and just have a quick glance over. Guard. A couple of lengths break then to Yukon, who matches strides with Pushover. Give Peace a chance. He's next in the field, and then on the inside, Paintball Wizard. Further back to Tortoise, just preceded by Signal 29. If it goes through me, I can try and get out straight away against it. Natalina in the purple. Obviously, we want to bounce, so if the money starts creeping down, the 80 quid's put me off, so 1, 2, 3. Well down the far side of the track, approaching the last 7 furlongs. I'm using that cushion straight away. You see that? So, yeah, I've lost a tick, 35p, but that is an ideal way of showing you how cushions work. The market didn't go through me, but, well, has a bit, but it saved me a bigger loss. It's a good example, that it really is. Push over on the inside. Bet to lose 35p than lose like 10 quid or whatever, you know. Give Peace a chance as they head out of the back straight. Further back then to Signal 29. My mouse froze. My mouse is freezing. What's going on? Still right at the back. Our Celtic Classic and Natalina. Right, okay, so we've got to try and get out of this one here. The last 4.5 furlongs. Where can we get out for? We want to get out for the cheapest. Too much energy is 3 lengths clear of Ocean Reach. We're matched anyway. That was weird.
I'm out of here, man.
But you see there, the price went through me. There wasn't much of a cushion. Followed further back by thankfully the price come back. Now we're running out of time because this is a short race, but I might be able to just get a little bit of money through here above this 117 if the price comes in. And I want, I did want more ticks than that, but I didn't get a chance to change it. But there you go. And now we're done for this short race. Just got to close this off for as much profit as possible. Signal 29, Yukon, Natalina trying to pick up towards the near side. If it's coming in,
sucker.
I'll take the 250 if I can get it. It's Ocean Reach from on the near side. Give Peace a chance. They've gone on from Dan King, heading now inside. And you see, like, again, that's why getting your timing right is spot on, because it looks like we've just laid the winner there, and we got that lay in at like 5.5 where that cushion was.
Market suspended.
And then we got out before we hit the business end of the race and the price came crashing in. Now, I had no idea if that was going to win or not. It doesn't really matter at that price, but that is why you need to not trade the business end of the race. And I say it time and time again, if you're using the Geeks Toy and you're trading in play, the race timer is really what you need to do that. If it weren't for that bit of kit, I wouldn't be a successful trader, I promise you that, and it's only 15 quid to buy if you want a copy. But yeah, there's a good example there of how cushions work, how timing is important. If you don't want to buy the race time, by the way, you can do it without it. It's just a lot easier because you've got programmable visual and audio alerts. But you can do it by listening to the commentators, and then you just want to get out when they say, like, you know, whatever it is, 3 furlongs left or 2 furlongs left, depending on the race distance. If it's a sprint, you need to get out quicker, obviously. This is done in percentage. But if you do it in furlongs, then that's fine as well. There is also the inbuilt timer you can use as well, but it's just a coloured line. You can set the times of the race just like you can on there, but without having different sort of markers and without having the audio alerts, it doesn't quite work as well. But you know, if you can't afford the £15, then you can do either of them two things as well. Or if you're using different software, a lot of Bet Angel or something, I'm sure they have some kind of built-in timer, but it won't be as good as the race timer. Anyway, I'm nattering on, so let's move on to the next race. It's £5, so 2 races traded so far, only 23p on the first race, more of a scratch, and 5 quid on that one. Let's see what's next. So now looking at this race at Worcester, it's a Monday, it's a 2 mile, 4 furlong novice handicap. Liquidity is sitting at about $500,000, which is actually not, for a Monday, it's not too bad. Hopefully things are starting to pick up. I mean, I say it's not too bad, but it's been crappy times. Now with this race, I've only really got 3 runners to look at. If you look at what it is, we've got an odds on, which is going to control the market. We've got another runner, which is, you know, at a low price. So these 2 horses basically control the whole market. You've got one lower priced horse, which is at 10s. Hopefully that will come in a little bit. And the rest are just massive outsiders.
Market in play.
Now when you're trading, you've got to be aware of your surroundings, what's going on. Your environment is probably the best word to use. Be aware of your environment. This is the environment I'm in now. Every single race is different and you have to treat it differently. If you treat every race the same and go in the same all the time and try and do the same thing, you'll be a loser. You know, you've got to adapt and change, and this probably isn't the best race to trade. Whether I get a trade through or not, I don't really know, and I don't really care if I do or not. You know, a lot of people go down the route of trying to make, I don't know, £5, £10 a race or whatever, but if you push yourself to a target like that, you're going to lose money. It's what you do over the long term that counts. I made £5.92 so far today. If it stays at £5.92 for the whole, you know, for the afternoon, that's fine. I don't care. Because another day I'll make 300 quid, and another day I'll make 40 quid, and another day I'll make £100, and another day it'll be 70 quid, and another day I might have a loss of £10. But it's what it adds up to over the month, if that makes sense, is really what is important. So, yeah, don't get carried away by any one race or any one day or any one result. That's what people do. They have a loss and then they just go on the chase. Lose 50 quid on one race and then try and get that 50 quid back in the next race. And then end up being 200 quid down and then chase that 200 quid, maybe lay some horse in some race that then goes on to win, and then all of a sudden you're £2 in the hole and you've blown your whole trading bank and you're screwed for life, and you've got to start the whole thing again. You'd be surprised how many people actually do that, and people do it over and over and over again. Now, looking at this race, I can't see much to trade. There's nothing worth my hassle, so I'm just going to sit here and talk crap for a minute, really, about trading, I guess. But yeah, wait for that 3 point there on the second fave. That could be an option to get into, because we've got a crossover point there. But what you've got to bear in mind, if something happens to this favourite, that price is going to shoot in odds on. So if I was to suddenly lay at 3, or even 4 if the price went out and that comes in, and then something happens to that favourite, you've got to bear in mind that price has to come in.
And back in touch, though still last, is Global
and it will
Frontier.
shoot in, and we'll lose. And if that doesn't, this one will.
On flight number 5,
because something has to take over that price. This horse controls over 50% of the market at the moment, the market share. If you don't understand over round, this number here, and under round, then I really suggest you do some research on it. It's a really important thing to understand and learn. And also you can work out how much money bookies are making, when prices will affect each other, because they don't all the time. It depends on these figures. You've got to break the 100 mark for cross-matching to work, which does flick in for a fraction of a second. You never see it. I might be able to get some cash in here in a second, but like I say, I've got to be very cautious.
Ultimate Getaway.
And I'm going to have to use a bigger stake if I am as well.
I'm out of here, man.
The hard-ridden Love You to the Moon is next. Irish Sovereign taken to the outside of the field.
I'm going to go there because we've got that
Solplum Creek
cushion right there.
Global Frontier's about to go past Love You to the Moon, relegates her to be last.
And that 6 ticks. Now don't forget, this can come back and win, so I've got to be really careful. There's no reason why it can't.
Ultimate Getaway.
We want in and out very quickly.
And reverse
only got part matched.
As they exit the back.
5 are left.
With Irish
if we can do it again, I'll be happy.
Back in 5th on the outside of Solplum Creek, and that.
I'm out of here, man.
Have broken away.
I now want 8 ticks because we're a little bit further on it. And if we don't get matched, it doesn't matter. I'll get out. And we want to get out before the business end of the race. Don't forget.
With Fire Away poised to challenge on the outside. Pushed along.
Now we're getting
a couple of lengths behind the leading sucker.
And now it's come back in, so hopefully we can get matched up for a tenner. And there you go. That's 10 quid.
As the leaders went over 3 out.
And now if you watch the market, you'll see that they go.
As they come
it all will go a bit crazy in a second. You can see it's a 2-horse race.
As well. Over 2 out, Fire Away on
the market is obviously thinking the favourite is going to win now. But we didn't know that when we went in. But this can all still change. It could fall, couldn't it, at the last.
Fire Away jumped it in command, 3 lengths clear. Ultimate Getaway over in second.
It could, anything could happen. I've seen a horse this far in front before, training at 101, and then just run into the side of the fence just before the finish line and lose. And I've had a 1,000 to 1 winner before as well, and that wasn't by skill, that was by luck.
Market suspended.
And it was actually just, it was actually just, if you know how a small and £2 bet works, it was actually that bet that went in that got part of that got caught, not me actually doing it. So it's just pure fluke. But 14 quid. Sorry, 12 pence. I made £120 off that. But, you know, my point is, that regardless of that, my point is anything can happen. Always close off your positions, get in and out, get your timing and everything right, and you should be okay. Anyway, I'll move on. That's now 15 quid for the day, so 3 races. Essentially, I've done 15 minutes work. I'm watching friends on the TV in between races. I'm not trading. I'm just chilling out. All the best in the market. So this is another short race. I wouldn't normally do this style, but I'm only doing it because it's a class 2.
As Genuflex takes
Doggly.
Class race, sorry. It's a class 6 race. But I've got to be in and out quick if I do look at it.
White sleeves
the market is moving around like a nutter, so we really do want to be looking at a few more ticks if we find that opportunity. Look at that money coming in there.
Is Realist, Silver Gun, another one who's taken a keen hold.
That's a good sign if you're a backer, the price is going to come in. Obviously, I don't back first, generally. I used to, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I find I make more money doing this strategy. And when you see that getting smashed away, either in or out, in a big stake like that, you can seriously make money off these quite a lot of the time. So that's holding the price up. So when that goes, that price could shoot out if that price is going quick. And it's the same the other way around. I find it more on the when it's being laid and the price comes shooting in. But someone wants to get a big bet on that.
Next in 3rd, that's Big Boy Bobby, and in 4th place, Natural Value out of Gun. You have to ask what it is. It could be like a as the field begin to swing in. Then 3 deep
footballer or something, you know what I mean? He's not playing for England, not working at the moment. He's got that kind of money. Could be a bookie, laying off liability.
Genuflex has led from the start, but Maristica now keeps that leader company, moving in to take closer order.
I'm out of here, man.
Silver gun the near side. Big
no, we want that to
Bobby
flick back
pushed
up, or it's
along
going to take a smaller
and added reason
profit.
to the far
And
side.
as it's a short race, I'm looking at the race timer. I'm out already.
Towards the last 2 furlongs.
That's why I have these different timer things. So the orange,
I'm outta here, man.
that line there is for the short races for me, for these kind of distances. And you can now see we've made £5.17 before the market all goes crazy. Got the timing pretty much spot on, and I'm nice and safe.
And also Big Boy Bobby, realist further back.
Okay, so just having a look at this Worcester race here. Time's moving on now. I haven't done much training today, to be fair, because of it's Monday and white bother.
Market in play.
If my missus ever throws me out, I've decided I'm going to get a girlfriend that runs a chip shop, because their weekend is Sundays and Mondays, and that'd be perfect, wouldn't it? So you can trade the rest of the week.
Dogly dogly.
Still have a 2-day weekend. Yeah, no, seriously though, I've lowered my stakes here to 350, which is about the minimum I use. Sometimes £3 I might use lower, just because liquidity is poorer. If you look at that compared to that to the previous races I've just traded, it's a maiden hurdle, which means they're unknown horses, so we expect the liquidity to be a lot lower. A lot of the people in the markets are probably traders. There's obviously going to be gamblers in there as well, but you always got to remember the gamblers are where you make your money from. You probably end up breaking even against other traders if they're decent traders over the long run. And obviously there's people learning as well that you'll probably make money off as well. Anyway, let's get the sound on, see if we can get a few ticks and move on from there. But yeah, not like I say, you should always adjust your stakes according to what's on offer, and there ain't a lot on offer here, that's why it's lower.
Kalamoka, who's racing on the inside of Italian Summer. Go On Gal held up last as Dora rounds.
So, as always, waiting for the opportunity. It's a 2-mile race, so I'm using the race timer as always. I expect to get out either that line or that line there. 2 mile, I'll probably be right to that line, but
and then a couple of lengths to
I've got
Italian
my warnings
Summer
coming up.
On the outside of
As I want them.
Kalamoka. The back marker remains Go On Gal. Dora on the approach to flight number 4 with a 4 or 5 length advantage.
So the market isn't
the
quite
field.
bouncing around enough for me. I want 4 ticks, you see, a minimum of 4 ticks
comes over the 4th
on this race. So if I can't see a good opportunity to get 4 ticks through the market safely, I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to bother going in for 1 tick. I don't know. I think it's stupid to try and scout. You might as well scout pre-race if you're going to go for 1 tick. The whole point of trading in play is so you can get more ticks. You know. To me, a scalp is 4 to 10 ticks, and a swing trade is like 10 to 150 ticks or something, you know. Where pre-race, a scalp is 1 tick, and a swing is like 4 ticks upwards, isn't it, you know? Right, I think there's a little opportunity here. I'm just waiting to see if the market's going to bounce again, though. I'm not sure.
About 2 lengths between them.
I don't want it to go through me, which it did. You see, like, I took that hesitation there, and good job I did. Just reading the market. I probably would have got matched on both sides of the books, but I would always like to be cautious.
I'm out of here, man.
I'm going here. Oh, there's not a lot of cushion though. That's the only problem with this. I'm going to have to get right out of threes and probably lose a bit of cash if it goes against me. So when it's like this situation, you're best off to just get out as quick as you can. See what I mean like that, and then we might as well just see close off for as big a profit as we can.
And Kalamoka trails by 30 lengths.
Looks like the market's giving up on it, is it?
I'm out of here, man.
Leaders quarters turning in. Rock Angel, Flighty Bride, who's driven
Now,
on
because
the
he's bounced
outside
around so much, I want more ticks. You might as well try and get him if you can.
Leading quartet, but
just close off for that
Summer
profit
no
there.
longer is.
As it's
Sucker.
Going to jump 3 from home. Dura from Kaz on the Raz.
Now we're into that red zone, so yeah.
Making headway.
Only £1.37. Whatever I traded now, you can bet it will go on and win. So you know that's why I don't. You can see how the markets go crazy in this danger zone. Now putting money in there, so I could lay that at 6 for 50 ticks, and I might get matched. But it's just a gamble. Look, watch. See, I'd be putting my pants now. Would have made a profit, but it's a gamble. The market didn't know. Why would I know any better? I don't know anything. That's where people go wrong. If you think like people know where the market's going to go next, they don't. That's not how trading works. You just got to take like the best chance,
suspended.
the best odds on what happened, and just take value all the time. No one knows if a horse really is going to win or not. It doesn't matter what the price is. and you just got to take advantage where you can. Anyway, we'll move on, and I hope my videos are helpful. Please leave a comment if you want me to do anything, cover any subject or whatever. Just drop me a comment, because if I think it's worth doing, or drop me an email if you like as well. You can get me direct. But yeah, just put a request in and I'll do it. I'd be interested to do that, to see what people actually would like me to talk about. And I can literally talk all day. I used to work in recruitment and sort of sales type jobs, so I can talk for England if you want me to. Anyway, best of luck in the markets, and I'm just looking at the races there. You see I'm selecting my races carefully. The next one's not for half an hour, so I'm going to go and chill out for half an hour, and I'll come back and have a look at this race then, and we'll talk again that one. Bye for now. Right, so this is another race at Worcester. What do we know about this race so far? Not a lot, because I've done no market research. We know we've got a short price favourite we've got to consider. Always consider when they're short, because they're going to affect the rest of the market. At 2.0, they control literally 50% of the entire market. You've got to bear that in mind. So that's obviously, whatever happens on that price is going to affect everything else, especially when that over round, under round breaks that 100%. You'll never see it break the 100% because it happens in a fraction of a second, and cross matching appears and it goes back out. But when you see it low like that, it's about to. So we've got to be aware of that. What else do we know about it? Well, the liquidity for a Monday afternoon is not too bad. I mean, it's not great. I mean, I say it's not too bad because of COVID-19 and so on. I'd expect to see double that in normal years, but it's not a normal year. We've got to consider. And I don't know much else about it. We've got a couple of horses we can trade. I probably won't be trading the favourite because the odds are too short, and I just don't like trading short price favourites at all. Unless it's pre-race. So I'm going to switch that over to long call. That's too higher odds for me to trade. I'm not going to risk that much liability when there's so little money in the market. But should the price come in on that or something else, then we'll have a look at that. I prefer these prices. These are near crossover points. This one, Castell Godolfo, whatever it's called, is below 4 at the moment, but if that's sort of near the 3 mark or near the 4 mark, it might be worth considering. Obviously, we've got to keep an eye on that favourite at all times up here, because that, like I say, that's going to affect the price. If that shoots out to 10, we're going to be screwed. And over here, we want to get a price above 4. We're getting late on in the race. This is about the time I normally start to make money, so we better get on and actually do something.
I'm out of here, man.
Leading them around the top bend from Soldier on Parade side shift.
So there's a little bit
around the
of money
outside
here
of the grey Castle
beneath me,
Gandolfo,
which I can use as a cushion. Unfortunately, there's 80 quid sitting there.
Chanticleer struggling.
The price is going out. I don't mind going to 6s, but is it going to stay out there? That's the question. Not much of a cushion here.
On the approach to the home straight.
I think I'm going to want 6 ticks.
A length in front of Gandolfo and Solstalla, who's coming wide. In a share
you want to be in and out in a fraction of a second. That's how you make your money. See how quick that was? That's 4 quid. But that was by getting my timing right.
Soldier on Parade.
If we see another opportunity, there's no reason we can't do it again, but I can't. And now it's too late.
Still in touch, but
literally making your money. Well, let's just quickly green off. I might come back and win. I want my £4 if I can get it. Let's see if we can get £4 1p. I'm that tight, and it's terrible. There you go, matched up at. I might even get a bit more if it comes back and wins. But anyway, yeah. So we greened off for 4 quid. But sometimes pulling the trigger can be exactly like that. You see, like that favourite ended up losing. Something else had to come in. So when that's gone out to 1,000, you can see this has come right into 110.
Market suspended.
The reason why Betfair do cross matching, you can see the market. There's a massive gap there. Look, that's 1.5%. That's crazy. I've never even seen it like that before. Anyway, so I won't worry about that price for now. But the reason they do cross matching, if these broke the 100 mark, so obviously the lay would have to go over 100, or the backside would have to go under 100. The reason being is that you would either be able to back or lay every winner for a profit, as long as you get the amount of money right. So what Betfair do, imagine if you've got 2 horses, they're both at even money. If one comes in, it pushes the other price out. Essentially it has to, because backing one horse is the same as laying the other. Or if you imagine like a tennis match, only one player can win, or a snooker match even. Not football, because obviously you can get a draw in football. So there's 3 options there. But yeah, if one price comes in, and that, as long as the over round is right, it's where most people get it wrong, because most people assume that if one price comes in, the other one has to. That's not necessarily true. So if you imagine, like in a 2-horse race, if both runners are trading at 2.2, then there's enough slack in the book for one of them horses to come right the way into 1.8 before it pushes the other price out. So understanding over and underride is actually really important. I'll probably do a video on that separately and go into it in a lot more detail. But most people get it wrong, to be fair. If a price comes in, it doesn't necessarily make a price go out. It depends on the situation, is the answer to that question. Anyway, we'll move on and see if we can make some more money. I'm rabbiting on, and this will be a long video otherwise. Anyway, best of luck in the market. Okay, so I am back at Worcester. What do we know about this race? What you got to ask yourself when you start trading any race, or any sport, even whatever you're trading, you always got to ask yourself, what do you know about the market? What do we know about this market? We know liquidity is pretty poor. It's not that bad considering it's a Monday and it's 5:15 in the afternoon, so it could be worse than that. With COVID-19, obviously we've got to take into consideration other years. I'd expect it to be a little bit higher. So we also know it's a handicap hurdle, which means hopefully there should be a little bit more liquidity, hence why that isn't just sitting at 100,000 grand, you know, and moving upwards. It's a 2 mile 7 furlong race, which means I can trade right up till the end there. On average, a 2 mile 7 furlong race lasts 16 minutes and 14 seconds. On average, obviously some will run a lot quicker, some will run slower, which depends on the surface, the horses, and a lot of other things as well. But on average, that's how long they take. So I can trade up to this line here. I cut 20% off. So 20% of that, I'm going to give myself about a minute or so to get out, and I suppose, to be on the safe side. Obviously, when you get into the business of the race, that's where you're going to lose, blow your bank. You can't lay a horse and lose all your money, right? Really, until it crosses the line. And with that, and that's why the race time is so important, because you can't, can you? If I was to lay this horse here at 10s, and it comes in because it's running well, it can only come in so far when there's still 50% of the race left. It can't come all the way in a 101, and I blow my bank. It just can't. So it doesn't mean it can't come in and I'll take a big loss, but as long as I don't let that happen, and let it come all the way in there because of the time, then I can never blame my bank on it, basically. And that's what you need to understand. I prefer these longer races. If you look at my results and stuff, you'll see, when I show you my spreadsheet, you'll see that I've traded more sort of hurdles and jumps. Anyway, I'm going to look at the race now, get the sound on, and see if we can make some cash. Hopefully the race is starting to liven up. I've only really got, there's a lot of outsiders on this race. That's the problem you get when you get bigger fields, the price is going to be higher. I don't want too big a liability. I am tempted, there's a nice cushion there, so I am tempted to jump in front of it, but someone's already beat me to the punch. Anyway, let's get on and trade.
And Hattab and Stephanie Sunshine has dropped back into the last pair.
So right now I'm just waiting, not much cushions here. I do like that cushion, but the market's just too buttered up. I want to see it jump, moving, bang up and down. Otherwise it might just go through me, but you can imagine if I was to place a lay trade at 4.2, if I didn't get matched up 4-6 later, which I've got it set on at the moment at 4-6, you could have seen, well it's too late now, but that money I could have got out against, and that's gone, so that's obviously, that runner's probably likely to come in. There's 400 quid sitting here, so we might well be able to get in front of that. But you see the market's not moving. This is to do with fill rate. Fill rate is the numbers in white. These are people actually taking the prices rather than having money waiting. And what you really want with this kind of strategy is you want a nice balance. You want more. You want a lot of money being matched. You know, actually coming in on the fill rate, but you also want just a little bit more money waiting so you can get out against it if it goes wrong. That's your ideal situation. So you can see I'm just resetting the markets, looking for an opportunity. I am tempted to just pop in there.
I'm out of here, man.
If that 400 goes, there's always 100 down there, so I shouldn't lose too much money. But it's not really bouncing. But
James St Patrick, Leothorpe, Ulysses on the
We'll see what we
outside
can
of
get through.
Fernowl as they jump 4 outs. Then Bridie's Lettuce, a mistake there from Enchantia.
See that money going? So I'm taking that out.
Tomo Ruffley is
just
losing
missed it.
touch. John Joella has dropped out of the front rank as James St Patrick
Just going to
leads
try and get out.
Leothorpe by a length. As they
Unfortunately, I missed it there, but that happens sometimes, you know.
From Ulysses, Duroin is on the move.
This is a race I've really got to look at. This is one of my research races. Come on the Bull. You'll see over here on the right-hand side here. By looking at past previous runs, I've noticed that it's traded in low a lot of times. A lot of times. I expect it, if it has a good run, it might come into about, I don't know, 6s, 5.5.
Market in play.
But because I'm greedy, I'm going in for a 45 lay position at 4.0, which is a nice crossover point, because obviously I've got more money upwards and downwards for a little bit of time. And I've got a 75 tick offset, which will get me back out at about the starting price. And you've got to remember, when you do these kind of runs, if it is close towards the finish, and you get horses often go back to their starting price before they win. So if it's a close finish, it could flick back up, I could get caught, and it could still come on and win. I don't know if it'll run this well, and if it doesn't, I'd rather not get matched. It doesn't matter to me if I don't get matched, but if I do get matched, I've got to act on it. Now, if we just hover over that, you can see my liability on that is 135 quid. Now, I don't want to lose 135 quid, so if that price shoots straight through me, it looks like that horse is going to win. I've got two options. One is to cancel the bet off so I never get matched in the first place. The other option is to get out somewhere down here about 3ish or something. What I certainly don't want it to do is to go odds on. Now, if it goes all the way down to 2.0, I'm going to lose half that liability, which is 60 odd quid. With these kind of trades, I can afford to lose 60 quid because I often make a lot of money on them. I made 200 quid on one of these the other day, do you know what I mean? So, with this kind of money and these kind of odds, this would be more like about a £30 profit if it comes off. So, I've got to bear that in mind. I'm thinking about my exit point if it happens, and I'm thinking about my exit point if it doesn't. And now what I'm also going to do, I've got to remember not to hit that reset button to reset any trades. I'm also going to try, I'm going to keep an eye on it up here, and I'm going to look at other runners in the race and see if I can make some money there.
Mr. McGuinness.
Let's see what we can find.
Next. Then follows definitely Vinny.
So I've constantly got my eye up here. You can see the price is going out at the moment. I probably won't get matched on it. I don't really expect to get matched on it, but I think I've got it in a good position, which could just pull me in a nice little bit of cash if we do. I really don't expect the horse to win, and you can see the price is shot right out to 75s there, 40s at the moment, but it's still very early days in this race, so we'll see what happens. But like I say, I'm looking at stats here. It's the stats that have given me this idea to lay that horse. In the meantime, liquidity is pretty low. You can see there's not much money in the market, so I want to try and make a few quid, but you can see most of the horses in this race are outsiders. You know, it's like you've got a shorter price favourite, which is hogging just over, or just under, sorry, 50% of the market. 50% of the market is at even money at 2.0, so that's probably got, off the top of my head, something like about controlling about 55% of the market or something. And that's why the other prices are so large. But you always got to remember, any horse can win. Any horse can always win. I'm going to pop in there, not for too much money. See if the price pops down to me and out for a few ticks, just because there's, well, there was a little bit of money beneath me, but it's gone. There was a 300 there, that's gone as well. That money's come back. But the market's not bouncing enough at the moment, if that makes sense. It's too dangerous. Just because you could have made money, it doesn't mean you should have, if that makes sense, you know. Sometimes you'll lose money in a trade, but you've done the right thing. Sometimes you'll make money by doing the wrong thing. But to make money long term, you've got to consistently do the right thing, and it will even out. Those little bits of luck or variance that you normally call it if you're a professional gambler. You call it variance rather than luck.
I'm out of here, man.
They're leaving themselves out over the long term. Now I'm going to pop that down and see if I do get a catch. I don't think I will.
One more to jump on the far side.
I was about to hit that. Obviously we're looking at come on the ball. I don't look like we're going to get matched on come on the ball, to be fair. So
Harry Hayes will jump 4 out
not too bothered now.
Lalantos and Mr. McGuinness are 5th and 6th. Then follows Fibonacci closing in front of Wisecracker, the longest day. Josie Abbing under a very patient ride, creeping
few
closer.
ticks here maybe.
The only one that's out of contention is definitely Vinny, who's tailed off as Pinnacle Peak leads them out.
I'm out of
Just
here,
typical,
man.
got hardly anything matched.
Along, come on the ball. Get an Oscar's coming off the bright.
We run out of time. We are getting towards that danger zone. Got to remember we're on.
Harry Hayes, the longest day, is making an effort around the outside as Pinnacle Peak leads for home. Has got a 3-length break on the field. So Pinnacle Peak
Sucker.
From Get an
Right,
Oscar,
I'm just going to cancel it off. Something's going on.
But he's hard at work. So too is come on the ball in 3rd. Lalantos, Fibonacci.
What's going on with come on the ball? Let's have a
Harry
look
Hayes
at him.
behind those, then
Yeah,
follows
not a lot.
Leading Knight. Josie Abbing has got plenty to do as they head down towards.
So I'm just going to take whatever profit I can get now. Close it off.
Great guns in front, clear, jumping the 3rd last. Pinnacle Peak from Get an Oscar about 7 lengths down. The longest days moved into 3rd. Josie Abbing made a blunder.
So I know we're fully closed off. We'll have a look at that. Get an Oscar we only made 8p on.
Jumping 2 out, still about 7 or 8
I told you, yeah, I'll put that other play trading, didn't I? And that's it. Unfortunately, it's only £1.19, but it's £1.19. It's a 40 quid, near enough day for me, which I'm really happy with for a Monday. Mondays are normally crap. I don't expect to make much on a Monday. I'm actually normally happy if I make 20 quid on a Monday, because, you know, like I say, they're one of the worst days of the week. But, you know, that's all good and well. If you want to see the figures, there was one of the races I didn't catch on video, unfortunately, which is a shame because I made a tenner on that one. If I just reset that. And you can see, yeah, and then obviously we've got another £1.19. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, about 45 minutes work today to earn 40 quid, £39, what would it be, 19, £39.26 it will be profit in the end. Well, might be a little bit of commission to come off that. But there you go. So yeah, not bad for a Monday, happy with that. We'll say Tuesday tomorrow. I normally have a better day on a Tuesday, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, best of luck in the markets. What I'll do is I'm going to, in a second, once these figures are updated, I will... is it there already? No, it's not there yet. What I'll do is I will click this little button, download the spreadsheet, and then I'll upload that into my results file, so I can analyse what I've done. If you're not analysing results, if you're not recording your own trades, you really should be, and you should be watching it all back, analysing what you're doing. It's the only way to get good. You need to cut out your losses, and that doesn't, you know, and that could be just a losing track, or it could be a losing distance, or it could be anything, depending on your system. You know, I don't know how you trade personally, but for me, I need to cut out my shorter races are no good for me from the strategies I normally use, not unless I'm using something like I just tried there on that outsider, where I'm picking up loads of tacks, come on the ball. If I try something like that, I can do that on any length. But for my bread and butter races, which you see me do mainly, my scalping in play for 4 to 10 ticks, I need a certain distance, so nothing below 1.4. I know that. I cut them out, sin proof of it, unless it's something like this one where it's a better race. Do you know what I mean? But certainly never anything less than about that, or a mile at the very shortest. If it was like a, you know, a Group 1 race or something with a lot of money going through the markets, I might go in for 30 seconds of that race. But there you go. So yeah, cut out all your losses and let your profits roll. If you have any questions about anything I do, if you want to let me see me focus on a particular subject, talk about something in particular, either drop me an email or leave me a comment, and once I've caught up with you, I'll have a consider it. If it's something worth doing, I'll do a whole day chatting about it if you've got a good subject that you want me to talk about, or anything you want to cover in more detail. Other than that, best of luck in the markets, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Introducing Geeks Toy trading software, the fastest, most customizable and most popular software for betting and trading on Betfair and BetDAC. Designed by professional traders for you. Key features include unlimited desktop settings and the ability to create custom profiles to suit every user's needs. Unbeatable speed, real-time prices and one-click betting. Unique management of multiple markets. You can bet or trade on multiple sporting events simultaneously. Support for 8 languages. Context-driven help on every window. Dutching and bookmaking. Training mode. Advanced charting. Enhanced navigation. Support for Betfair coupons. Stop loss and more. Geeks Toy. Possibly the best Betfair and BetDAC trading software in the world.